Welcome to Elliott's PT podcast. I'm here to help you find your balance and live your best life guilt-free. I don't believe there is a one-size-fits-all approach for health and fitness. We're all different and we need to find out what works for us. I'm passionate about helping people make realistic, long-term lifestyle changes that they will stick to and they will take with them forever. I don't believe in crazy diets or short-term fixes. We all need to live and find a perfect balance in diet and exercise that suits our individual needs. I want to help you find your exercise mojo, feel great and achieve wonderful things. Here is Elliott's PT podcast by Renae Elliott. Hello, and welcome back to Elliott's PT podcast. So today I've got Helena with us again because we had such a great time doing podcasts last time.
Yeah, we did.
And we thought we would come and back on today and talk about knowing where to start with things.
Yeah.
People feel confused and they feel overwhelmed a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And we thought today we would come on and help people know where they should be, how to know where to start. Okay, so first of all, we are specifically, I guess, talking about food.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about more with food. We have a new program that is being launched on the 1st of April. And lots of times when people start something new, they sometimes feel overwhelmed. And we're hoping to help debunk some of those feelings of the overwhelm. So our new program is called Macro Balance. It's all about learning how to understand your food yourself, how to make sure that you're getting the right balance of your food, of your macronutrients, which is your protein, fats and carbs. And the idea of the program is that you should have enough knowledge by the end that you can carry on yourself.
Yeah.
And that you don't need it. But getting back to starting, lots of times people just don't know where to start.
Yeah. And we're talking about kind of starting with looking more closely at their food and tracking their food and kind of understanding what to eat.
Yeah. Because I think lots of times people don't know where to start and then they just don't start.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing I think is they don't know where to start and then they put it off.
Yeah.
And then a year later, you put off macro counting for a while.
I did not want to do macro counting.
Yeah. Why do you think you didn't want to do it?
I think
I put it off too.
I think I didn't really want to be that accountable about what I was eating.
Yeah.
I mean, I did quite well, really, but I just don't think I wanted anybody telling me it wasn't right. I was a bit moody about that. You know, I didn't really want to be told I wasn't doing it right because probably I knew there were some things that could have been better. And I guess maybe it took me a while to see its relevance to me, because, you know, people don't just macro count because they have a weight loss aim. You know, people macro count for all sorts of reasons.
Definitely.
So for energy, to fuel their body properly. Some people do it because they want to put on mass, so they might want to put on muscle mass. So I think maybe it just kind of slipped down the list of priorities for me as to things that mattered to me, you know. Yeah,
it was important to me. I'd put it off for ages. I thought it was too complicated. And I would go to start and then I wouldn't do it because I was like, it's too hard. But it was important to me because I was breastfeeding. So I wanted to make sure I was eating well enough to keep up a milk supply and not to have any trouble with that because I really wanted to feed for as long as I could.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to lose weight from baby weight. So I wanted to make sure that that I did that, and you know, I ate well, but so that's why it was important, which I guess got me to actually understand it. What did you feel like when you first started?
When I first started,
I think I remember you messaging me and saying that
this is brilliant, Renae. Why didn't you tell me about this?
I think I tried.
I was forced to start it because I was on a course and we had to do it on the course. So I was like, God, okay, I'm gonna do it. And it was just a bit of a revelation because I wasn't eating enough, which a lot of people find when they start macro counting. They find that they're under fueling their body. So I thought, right, I'm really gonna put some effort into making sure I'm eating enough and that it's balanced. I mean, as you know, I'm vegan, and so my diet does tend to be quite cereal based, quite carbohydrate based. And I kind of knew that I needed more protein in it, and I thought, no, I'm actually going to do this.
But there's so many ways to get protein in.
Of course there are,
of
course there are, It's just to kind of fill myself up. I do tend to, you know. Anyway, and I just thought I'm a bit of a nerd, so I was like, I'm going to be a good student, and I'm going to do it. I want it to be good, and I want it to be right, and the teacher will give me a gold star or whatever it was. And I just felt, within days, I just felt so good from just, you know, and just had kind of, the biggest change for me was the kind of 3 or 4 o'clock slump.
Yes.
Like and also another big change was not needing to eat cereal after dinner to not feel hungry kind of thing. Yeah. So it was more that kind of end of the day when I really started to feel the benefits of it. Yeah. So I know that when you know, and I still don't do it all the time, but I do it when I know that I need to.
Yeah, you have that knowledge now.
I have the knowledge, and if I think, okay, like recently, I haven't, my food hasn't been great. It's been a lot of our fridge has been broken, sad story. Yeah. So it's been a lot of cereal.
And you've also moved.
And I've moved, and it's
just
had a lot going on, and, you know, and it's been a lot of kind of, kids, it's toast and cereal for dinner again, and same for me. And so I'm now starting that again, just to get me back, you know.
But that's the good thing, is once you understand it, you can hone in on it, when you need to. And that's what I do. I don't track all the time, but when I know that I need to pull my neck in, when I notice I might put on a little bit of weight or I need to pull my neck in, then I go, okay, back into tracking, because the tracking gives you
it does, it just helps you reorganize it, get it right, and just be able to carry on. The way you were. I know somebody who's tracked for 8 years. Every day. She just loves it.
Some people love it.
An IT person and loves data and programming and stuff like that. So
that doesn't suit me.
That's for some people, but it's not for everybody.
But so getting started, what's the so I think we put things off, and sometimes deep down, I think we always, there's a saying, put off what you're, generally the things you're putting off is the thing you probably really need to do.
You probably really need to do the
more
most.
Than, and then I think people deep down, they know they want to get started, or they know deep down that maybe their nutrition is something they need to look at. I think if you've been going to the gym, or you've been going, you know, and you haven't really had any results, you know, that's, you know, it's not the gym, that sometimes it's the, obviously the workouts can be modified, but I think it's the outside and sometimes when you understand your food, it can be the smallest tweak, and it can make all the difference. Like fats and those things. And so what would you recommend to say to people to stop the overwhelm when you're just starting out?
I think about the time when you're going to start. So for many people, the weekend is a really good time to start, because you've got a little bit more time to just do it. Okay. Now, obviously, not everybody is free at the weekend, but think about, you know,
a time where you have more time.
Probably don't start on a Monday when you've got to start work at 6:30 in the morning. You know, pick your time, and just do it. Just don't worry about it being perfect. Don't think about, you know,
there's never a perfect time to start.
There's never a perfect time.
Everyone's like, when I get this, I'll do it.
No, don't.
That would never happen.
Yeah, because you're not making any progress then. You know, so let's go for progress over perfection.
Definitely.
So, you know, do it. Set yourself 2 days when you commit to doing it. See what you find out. You'll probably, if you think you need to do this, you probably do, and you'll probably be surprised with what you discover. And take it from there. You know, that would be my advice, and that's the way I did it. I did. I think we had to do 3 days, so I did that, and then I was like, I'm actually gonna keep doing this. Other quite helpful things can be, if you can think once you kind of know you want to start and you're committed, if you do a little bit of meal planning and maybe think, okay, I'm going to eat 2 or 3 different dishes this week, that can be quite helpful when you start, because then you're not trying to track many different types of meals. So just stuff like that to kind of work a bit smarter with it till you find your feet with it.
There's lots of kind of hacks that I guess we've learned over time.
You know, having the same breakfast every day as long as it's a good breakfast, and you know, and a little bit of batch cooking for the evening, so that maybe you're eating a couple of different meals, and
there's lots of those things we go through in the program to make it easier.
And that's not to say that that's the way you're going to do it forever, but that's a really good way to get started. Makes it less.
I think as well, when people they see something and they want to start it, but then they think, oh, the timing's not right, or you know, I've got these stresses at the moment. But I kind of feel like that if you can manage something in your most stressful time, if you can manage it in that time, then imagine what it's like. You know, like, I think there's never a perfect time, and I guess there's always an excuse for why. There's always an excuse for why it's not, and we could always come up with excuses, but you know, I think there's a balance in working out, am I just scared of changing?
Yes.
Am I scared of making that commitment?
Am I resisting this change? Because when are we ever like, I've got absolutely no problems in my life. There's nothing going wrong like that. That
with children, that's never going to happen.
That's never going to happen. So you're right. Like,
I think if you're like really stressed out of your head, then I think it's time to not to do it. But I think if there's like, it's working out your, you know, that there's never a perfect time, and I think sometimes you just need to start, because you'll be surprised that when you understand more about nutrition, it carries on in everything else.
There's just nothing more fundamental, is there, than what we eat and drink and what we put in our bodies. So to support your body physically and mentally, it will just make such a huge difference to you, you know.
And the weight, like if it's weight loss, weight gain, I think that's like the last thing. You know, like the other things that you get from it outweigh.
They far outweigh it.
Outweigh
just
energy.
The energy, the sense of well-being.
They far outweigh. I think the other thing is learning patience.
And I think I've said to a couple of people when people have never tracked food before, and I've said to them, I can't pretend that what do I say? Because I don't want to mix up all my negatives. I basically say to them, honestly, you might not enjoy this at first. So let's just be honest about that. You know, I'm not going to try and tell you that, that you're going to really, you know, but actually, because of the benefits you get, you do start to enjoy it, because it's worth it. And it does start to become really satisfying, you know. And I felt really proud of myself, like when I knew I was kind of, you know, I felt really proud of myself. I was like, you're such a good girl, Helena. But it, you know, it just kind of accept that it is a bit more life admin, but actually, in terms of what you gain back from it, if you think about it, if you really get on a roll with it and you're planning your food well and you're eating well, you're going to have more energy, so you're going to get more done in life, and you ultimately end up spending less time in the kitchen and less time worrying about food.
Because you've got a plan. Because you've got a plan. It's already, it's there. So, you know, but you've created it. It's definitely.
So it's worth putting in some, you know, some additional effort for what you're going to long term benefits get back from it.
That's the same with prepping food. Some people are really hesitant about prepping food, but look, I would prefer to do a million other things. But the benefits of prepping food so outweighs the time that it spends.
I think you've just got to like reflect back. So my daughter has recently started school, so she's my first child in school. And it took us so long to get ready for school in the morning, so long, and you know, it was really stressful. And then we're like 4 weeks in now, and we've really refined it, and it's a really like well-oiled operation, and you just think, that didn't actually take that long, and we know what we're doing. And it's good for us to remember that, you know, when we start things, they do feel clunky and slow and awkward and difficult, but actually, when we, like, I can't stop taking my daughter to school, so I just had to, you know, just had to keep going.
Well, just the same as what were you like driving, like a good example is learning to drive a car. Like how awkward was it? So my mum took me to a car park and said, just drive. Which is really weird because my mum's a teacher. So she was like actually a terrible teacher. Sorry, Mum.
Sorry, Mum.
she knows.
Thanks for teaching me to drive.
So she only took me once. She took me to like a car park, which was not a big car park. It had lots of like those little cement boulders, and she just said drive. And I was so scared to take my hands off the wheel that like I twisted.
You were twisted
because I didn't know, like, you know. But I remember being that, and now, like, you drive without even thinking. You drive. Yesterday, Charlie said put both hands on the wheel. She told me off it, not for having.
My kids say that to me.
But how hard was driving when you first started?
And like the brain power that it took, you know. And now, you know, you do that thing where you're like, oh, how did I end up here?
Or you're like you're driving and talking and doing other things at the same time. So
we can learn and we can change, and it becomes easier, but you do have to start it for it to become easier. And that's the piece of wisdom that I bet you were never going to think of. You know, you have to start it.
You just have to start. And I just think you just don't want to like. It's time consuming at first. It's sometimes it's uncomfortable because you're learning. It's all of those things. It takes more brain power because you've got to think about it. But then it becomes the norm. And it's just, there is never a perfect time, but it's just starting. Understand there will be a few uncomfortable times to start anything. It's uncomfortable, but it will soon become second nature, and you'll like the same. I know you feel the same way because you've spoken about it before, but like with macro counting, I'm like, thank God I understand it. I thank God I sat down and I spent the time to understand my food, because, well, today's an example. Cooper's got a sore mouth and he can only drink through a straw. So I've got to make sure his food, that he can only have, he got hit in the lip, so he's got a big fat lip. So he can only have the food that, he can only have a smoothie, but I'm making sure he gets the right balance of protein, fats and carbs in that smoothie to keep him full, because he can't eat. He can't physically chew because of his mouth.
Poor Cooper.
So I think that's just start, and it will soon become second nature, and then you go, I know how I felt. I thought, oh my God, why had I avoided this for so long?
You'll be
I think you felt the same, because I think I remember getting a message from you. Because I think I remember talking to you about it here, and you're like, whatever.
Whatever. And you know when somebody's in that kind of, I'm listening to you, but I'm really not. But I'm really not. You couldn't possibly regret understanding it better, and what that will mean.
And it carries, like, the knowledge carries on for life, like how you just, that's what I said, when you understand this is a lifelong skill.
It is.
That lots of people don't have.
You don't have to, refresh it. You just, like, it's there and you use it.
And then you make an informed choice on everything. So just start. That's our advice.
It is. That's our advice about a lot of things.
Just do it.
Good advice.
Thanks for listening to the Elliott's PT podcast. I hope you have been able to find this information of use to you. If you know someone who might enjoy this podcast, please share it with them, and ensure that you subscribe so you can be the first to know when new podcasts are released. If you have the time to leave a 5-star review, that would be amazing, and it would be greatly appreciated. If you do so, please screenshot and share onto any of our socials and tag us. Then email the screenshot to hello@elliotspt.com, and we will send you a free gift to your inbox. Thanks so much. Have an amazing day. Speak soon.